In regards to the title, and we'll go much further into this later in the video, but 4 points behind Liverpool, unbeaten in 1 million matches. I'll double check that stat for you, don't worry. And overall, their style of play is looking way better. But is it legit, or will they have their classic breakdown around February, March? But like I said, we'll get to that, because first, hello, I'm Adrian and welcome to another Rabona TV weekend recap, the series where we go through all of the slumps, the slams, and the slips from the past weekend of action in Europe's top 5 leagues. Yes, top 5 leagues, because the people have spoken in the comment section and they voted to keep Ligue around. This is a democratic channel, just like my country, Canada. So despite it being almost a 50-50 split at the time of the votes being counted, well, the Liga will be around for now. But if it doesn't get more interesting, then we'll be sliding it right off of the Rabona TV weekend recap map. Now, before we get into it, everyone, let's give a nice round of applause to the people at OneFootball for helping make the weekend recap possible this week and going forward. How? Well, I was looking after my friend's puppy this weekend, which was a great time, don't get me wrong, but it meant that I wasn't able to watch as much football as I wanted. But with the OneFootball app, I can customize the teams that I follow or the competitions that I follow, keep up to date with the latest news, like the football leagues from this past week that I covered this weekend. OneFootball hit me with the alert for that one. You can watch highlights, the latest goals, and so much more. So if you're interested, and why wouldn't you be, there's a link to a free download in the description, and it's available on Android and iOS. Check it out. Alright people, let's get into the action now, starting with the league that's on the brink, Ligue 1. Things got started off on Friday, and I was excited. Why? Because it was Friday, and also because it was PSG facing likely their toughest test yet in the league, as it was first versus second, PSG versus Lille. And I got even more excited seeing that it was 0-0 at halftime, but of course, Kylian Mbappe had to come along and ruin everything with his sidekick, Neymar. Yes, Neymar is Mbappe's sidekick, not the other way around. Go ahead and at me in the comments section. Young Kylian latched onto a deflected through ball from Drunk Boy, that's Marco Verratti, shame on him, in the 70th minute, and struck an absolute peach out of reach of Maignan in goal. That was an historic goal actually, as Mbappe became the youngest player in Ligue 1 history to score 40 goals in the last 45 years. He's still 19 by the way, but I want to see him do it in another league, personally. He wasn't finished there though, as he sorta set up Neymar. I mean, not really, but he'll still get the assist despite there being everything left to do for Neymar on this occasion. Lille would grab a consolation goal late on, it would finish 2-1, and PSG made history by winning their first 12 matches of the Ligue 1 season. No other team has had a start like that in the top 5 leagues, ever, apparently, according to Opta. It also means that they've stretched their lead at the top to 11 points on Lille. And by the way, Neymar, the sidekick to Mbappe, has been involved in 45 goals in just 30 Ligue 1 matches. 45 goals in 30 matches. Don't get it twisted, I don't hate the Ligue 1. It's just extremely uninteresting because it's a battle for second place currently. Don't confuse hate with just disinterest. Lyon. Well, they've continued their checkered form this weekend with a 1-1 draw with Bordeaux. Granted, Bordeaux is a decent side, decent at max as they're in 11th, but there are some issues at Lyon that could cause some major problems in the locker room, mainly surrounding Memphis Depay, his attitude, and his teammates disliking said attitude. Lyon are currently 15 points behind PSG, a team that I thought was going to challenge them this season. Thierry Henry could be managing in the Ligue 2 if things continue in this trajectory for AS Monaco, as he's yet to find a win with the team since taking over. And Monaco are still yet to win a single match across all competitions since the very first match day of the season. Absolutely pitiful, man. I feel for the Monaco fans. How far they have fallen is just shocking. 7 points in 12 matches, the worst yield for them since the early 50s. That's all I gotta say about Ligue 1 this week. Let's talk England now, where Manchester City are starting to look like the same old City that ran riot in the Prem last season. Say what you will about their European form, where even there, they have just one loss, but domestically, they're looking terrifying, winning every single match, besides a draw with Liverpool and a draw with Wolves. This weekend, they stomped Southampton 6-1. I know, it's Southampton. A serial collector of L's so far this season with just one victory to their name in the Prem. But still, a scoreline like that is shocking, and it was the 12th time that they have battered an opponent by 5 or more goals under Pep Guardiola in the Premier League. 12 occasions across 3 seasons that they've won by 5 or more goals. Also, a huge shout out to Sergio Aguero, who scored his 150th Premier League goal in what was his 217th appearance, meaning it took him just 5 matches more than Alan Shearer to reach that tally. Also, whenever Aymeric Laporte plays for City in the Prem, they don't lose. He's taken part in 20 matches for them and they have won 18 and drawn 2. City will have a test next weekend in the Manchester Derby, as despite United perhaps not exhibiting as much as far as performances go on the pitch, City will remember what happened last season when United stormed back from 2-0 down to thwart City of claiming the title against their rivals, and Mourinho loves f***ing up the days of one of his peers. For their part this weekend, United were helped out by another goal from Anthony Martial. He scored in 4 consecutive Premier League matches now, as he's looking very decent. And then a late winner for Marcus Rashford, a rather shit goal birthed from a nice move from Pogba. 2-1 over the Cherries, who were unbeaten at home up to that point. Performance of this match, however, Fred. Looking nothing but honest out there. My man. Good stuff. That's the Fall on the Floor nominee for this season for sure. In a super emotional weekend for Leicester City players, supporters, and staff, a fitting tribute was given to their late chairman, Kun Vishai, who, as you know, tragically died in a helicopter accident last week outside the King Power Stadium. Following the pre-match tribute, the Leicester players gave a fitting tribute to their late owner on the pitch as well, with Demarai Gray giving the Foxes the win over Cardiff. R.I.P. Kun Vishai. A big surprise this weekend was Newcastle getting a damn victory, their first of the season, and it drags them out of the bottom 3. Still bottom 4 though, but no longer bottom 3, and they only went and did it against Watford, no less. Huge. Chelsea got a tidy victory at home to Crystal Palace thanks to a 3-1 win with goals from Alvaro Morata and Pedro. A brace for Morata, who is looking like a decent striker once again after a run of, 9 or 10 months for Chelsea where he wasn't looking great. He scored in back-to-back Premier League matches for the first time in a year. Last time he did that was November 2017. Spurs had a really tough time away to Wolves in a 5-goal thriller, and despite the Real Madrid vultures circling around Tottenham and their manager Mauricio Pochettino, so to speak, they managed to come out on top as 3-2 winners. Huge victory for them as they go on to face PSV in the Champions League this week. However, Wolves will feel hard done by, as while they were down 2-0, Raul Jimenez had a goal wrongfully disallowed for offside, as you can see here. Ain't nobody offside in this situation. And finally in England, Arsenal and Liverpool played to an extremely entertaining end-to-end match that eventually ended 1-1. Now, Arsenal look a completely different side to the one that they did under Wenger, and Lacazette is proving his doubters wrong in a huge way this season. I'd say that this was a fair result given the flow of the match, though I will note that Liverpool should feel hard done by, just like the Wolves fans, as they had a goal wrongfully disallowed as well. Mané was flagged offside not for his initial run, as he didn't affect the play, nor did he obstruct an opponent from getting to the ball, and the linesman correctly kept his flag down. In fact, here's a helpful graphic that illustrates the new offside rulings, and this is exactly the situation that occurred in the Liverpool-Arsenal match. In this situation, A would be Mané, as he runs towards the ball from an offside position but doesn't play it. B, who is Firmino, does play the ball from an onside position, and thus everything is all Gucci. So, the offside in this situation was given after Firmino's strike came off of the bar, as the linesman thought that Mané was ahead of the ball when Firmino shot, and then flagged as soon as Mané touched it. Wrong! He was behind the ball, didn't affect the play from the initial ball over the top as per the rules, and Liverpool was robbed. But hey, that's the way things go without VAR. Arsenal's performance was pretty damn good in this one, especially when you compare them to the Arsenals of previous seasons. The fact that they were able to keep up with an unbeaten Liverpool side that is likely going to be Manchester City's biggest challenger this season is quite the testament to how far Arsenal have come under Unai Emery, and they're not the finished product yet either. Do I personally think they will be title contenders? No, as I think they are better than Tottenham in this moment, despite the table saying otherwise, but still inferior to Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. But what do you guys think? Will the leading 3 fall off and Arsenal will storm their way up the table, or will the current table with City, Chelsea, and Liverpool leading in that order be status quo for the rest of the season? I think so, personally. But I think that Arsenal is going to be above Tottenham. And by the way, I double checked as promised, and Arsenal aren't unbeaten in a million matches across all competitions, but in fact from the 14 matches following their losses to City and Chelsea. Okay, Prem all wrapped up nicely there. Let's go to Germany and see how Bayern Munich did in their attempts to climb up the table. And how often do you get to say that? Well, they didn't do great, actually, as they were held to a 1-1 draw at home against Freiburg. And you know what's the craziest thing from all of this? According to Opta, Manuel Neuer has now conceded 8 goals from the last 8 shots he's faced in the Bundesliga. I don't know if that speaks to him not being the same keeper he once was, because honestly I don't watch Bayern enough to say so myself, or if the defense in front of him is just floundering a bit. My German friends, Dave, Bear Grylls, and all Germans, please fire away in the comments section to let me know, is it Neuer or is it the defense? Or is it both? And speaking of climbing up the table, RB Leipzig is quietly doing just that, as they had a handy 3-0 victory away to Hertha Berlin. Meaning they are just 1 point behind Bayern Munich in 4th place. Timo Werner with the brace. He only scores braces, by the way, as the 6 goals he has scored in the Bundesliga this season have all come in 2s from 3 Bundesliga matches. Schalke got a nice 3-1 win over fellow bottom dwellers Hannover 96, meaning that they are showing some signs of life. But no team in Germany is showing more signs of life than the black and yellow of Borussia Dortmund, who perhaps didn't smash their opponents Wolfsburg on the day, but grabbed an important 1-0 win thanks to a goal from Marco Reus. That means that going into Der Klassiker next weekend, Borussia Dortmund has a 4-point lead over Bayern Munich. That's going to be a huge match that you won't want to miss. There's a ton of huge matches next weekend, actually. Boca River Plate, Manchester Derby, Der Klassiker, someone else that I can't remember. In Italy, Inter smashed Genoa 5-0, flexing hard on the team that started oh so brightly, but is now winless in their last 5 Serie A matches. Inter's goals came by way of some unexpected scores, to be honest, with Gagliardini scoring a brace, Politano, and then João Mario, whose chances at a decent year looked completely dead at the beginning of the season. But after starting in the 3-0 win over Lazio last weekend, he was involved in 3 of Inter's 5 against Genoa, with a goal and a brace of assists, and I hope he does well this season. But Portugal is fine without him, to be honest. We have some great young talent. Juve grabbed yet another win, this time 3-1 over Cagliari, with Dybala scoring mere seconds into the match, 42 seconds in fact, which was their fastest goal since November of 2012. Ronaldo didn't score, but he got an assist, and in general has looked quite decent for Juve thus far. A bit of a different Ronaldo from the free-scoring Ronaldo that we've become used to seeing from his time at Real Madrid and Manchester United, but still a very effective Ronaldo. Speaking of Madrid, in Spain, both Real Madrid and Barcelona struggled their way to victories against Real Vallodolid and Rayo Vallecano respectively. For Madrid, I gotta say they were quite fortunate to go ahead against Valladolid, as it took a massive, earth-shattering deflection from a Vinicius shot for them to take the lead in the 83rd minute. Then, from there, some nice work from Benzema led to him being brought down in the box, and Sergio Ramos scored from the spot yet again with a nice little Panenka yet again. Hard on Valladolid as they looked dangerous throughout the second half, especially having hit the bar on 2 or 3, no, I think it was just 2 occasions. Super unlucky. Then, my favorite part of all of this, Toni Kroos tweeted this after the match, which is quite puzzling. I don't know if he's just being German and blunt or if he is trolling his own team. Either way, it made me laugh. Then Barcelona, still without Messi, though he will be traveling to Milan as part of the squad for their Champions League match against Inter, but his boys had a really tough time against Rayo Vallecano, requiring a late show from Ousmane Dembele and Luis Suarez to take them from 2-1 down to a 3-2 victory over the 19th place side. 19th place side. So, with that win and none of the other teams in the top 6 getting a victory, Barcelona managed to stretch their lead at the top to 4 points. And hey, that's all I've got for you from this weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then drop a like for me, or a dislike if you didn't enjoy it. That's okay too. There's a lot of content coming at you this week, I can promise you that. Perhaps another Roots of the Rivalry, some Champions League stuff, and a career mode. So subscribe if you want to watch all of that. Other than that, I'm Adrian. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.